Hey guys, what's up? Before I start, I really need to apologize to you guys for the lack of videos lately. Things have been nuts here, and I am way behind. I got projects I need to get done, and some of you guys know what those projects are. I got to put those things up. I got to finish doing them and editing them. I got videos and recordings on the back burner that I got sitting in this folder on my screen right now that I need to hurry up and put music on them and post them up. There's a whole bunch of them, a whole lot of them. Like literally, they've been recorded since freaking November, and just all this crap. So I apologize for not putting things up on a steady basis. A lot of crap going on. But I just had to get this out off my chest before I let this one die too. One of my more recent subs, I just saw him and I noticed he had favorited two videos of mine, which reminded me of the whole thing on healthcare. Which then reminded me of a conversation that I had with K Biomech recently. Great guy. You guys already know I like him a lot. Great intellectual to bounce ideas off with. But I was discussing something with him which has... Okay, I'm using the term perplex lightly because I know why this hasn't been discussed. But it is still a bit perplexing if you think about it, why this has not been presented in this whole debate about healthcare in this country. I know why it hasn't, and hopefully when I explain it, you guys will know why too. But you will also be probably a bit miffed that they've gone to great pains to not discuss things in this way. Because I think the whole healthcare thing would be going about a whole lot differently in this country if it was presented in the way I'm about to present it. When this whole healthcare thing exploded, and people are arguing over whether there should be a healthcare bill, whether there shouldn't be a healthcare bill, what should be in it or not. There was all this crap that was being talked about. People were talking about, this thing is going to be a big thing about socialism versus capitalism, or whether we're going to be dealing with death panels, or whether is it going to be single payer or not. Does the Americans really want a single payer system? And then we got talking about do we really hate socialism as much as we say we do? And people had to define to people what socialism is, which still failed because people still don't know what the fuck it is. You had people talking about whether things were going to be have a public option or not. Should the government have the right to govern these things? No, they shouldn't. They're incompetent. All these things were being discussed, except for the core issue of this bill. What this bill is actually addressing. What the philosophies, the two main philosophies are really about. And they're a lot simpler than you think. I know some people thinking, the whole philosophy is business versus the people. Yeah, it is in a way, but not really. There's something a lot more fundamental here that has yet to be voiced, as far as I can tell. And for a country that claims to be a democracy, it's interesting that this has not been discussed. Now, I didn't mention this earlier, because I knew it would be a waste of time. And what I mean by a waste of time is like, yeah, I'm going to mention it, but it's not like this is going to spread to other people and somehow the rest of this country is going to wake up and go, we need to be discussing that. I'm not stupid enough to think that my voice is somehow infecting millions. But after all this time, I'm still amazed that I'm not even hearing this from other intellectuals. This is what the whole healthcare thing is about. In this particular country. Is healthcare a right or a privilege? That's it. That's the fundamental thing that is truly being discussed here in a whole lot of roundabout ways. This is the fundamental thing. And this is the one thing that the citizens who would be affected by this bill are not even thinking about. Because if I think they were thinking about it, this whole discourse would be going a lot differently. Is health care a right or a privilege? Now, I am not giving a definite answer. This is something that I felt should be discussed by the people of this country. That's what should be discussed. Not whether or not we like socialism, not whether or not it should be public, or whether the government is too incompetent to have certain things, whether the Republicans are a bunch of corporate shills, which of course they are. Whether the Democrats, are incompetent. Of course they are. What it really comes down to is, should this country consider health care a right that you should have as an American citizen, Or should it just be a privilege that you have to afford? If you can't afford it, fuck you and die. Should that be? Now, the reason why this is a very important concept to discuss is because of this. From what I've seen in this country, anything that is considered a right, people also automatically believe that the government should be protecting that right. No matter whether you believe in big or small government, or whether you believe or not that the government is incompetent or not, just about everyone believes, as far as I can tell, in this country, that the government should do what it can to protect the rights of its citizens, and it should damn sure not be trying to violate those rights. That's what gets people pissed off. Even though they've been doing it for the past, what? I don't know how long now. But generally, whenever somebody's rights are being effed with, they expect the government to step in and take care of the guy. This is why recent things like, civil rights bills and all that are being pushed through the federal government, saying that, you got to defend these people's rights. And no matter how much people try to resist it, sooner or later it gets passed. Your rights to free speech, your rights to have an attorney if you're, if you're being arrested and you're being charged with some crime. The right to defend yourself. All these things, rights they believe the government should be... Hell, look about the right to bear arms. People are pissed off that the government seems to be trying to, in their eyes, trying to violate those rights. And they're like, no, F you, you're supposed to be protecting our rights. Again, the charge, government protect the rights. Leave our rights alone. So, with that said, if you're one of those people, and again, I'm not giving a definite answer. I'm just presenting that this should be the debate that's been going on about healthcare. If you believe that healthcare should be a right of the American people, if you believe it's a fundamental right that people should be guaranteed to have some form of healthcare if they're in trouble, if their health is deteriorating, if they need some type of medical attention, if you believe it's a right that an American citizen should have fundamentally, then that means the government should get involved to make sure that right is being protected. And if that means that the government ends up having to offer it itself, so be it. That's part of it, guaranteeing those rights. And if they don't do that, but they believe that people who are providing that health care aren't doing it in a way that protects the rights of people to get it, they're denying them that right, then they should be brought up on criminal charges, and the government should do what it takes to make sure that they get those rights. Now, that's if you believe in the philosophy that it should be a right. If you believe that, no, it's just a privilege that people should, fuck, if you don't got the money, fuck it. It's a privilege. Like owning a big house. If you can't afford it, too bad. Like being rich, it's a privilege you work for. If you believe that healthcare is a privilege, and if you're sick, fuck you, well then yeah, a lot of the stuff that people are saying about medical attention and medical care makes sense. Fuck them. The government should be staying out of it. Let these people continue to make money off of these people's debts. Fuck it. Denying people, their coverage just because of certain medical conditions. Well, hey, that's they're running a business here. What, you expect them to lose money? It's a privilege. That's what it's about. That's what it is really about. And I find it really interesting that that's not the way it's been discussed here. But I do have a sneaking suspicion that if the debate had been going that way, I'd be hearing a lot. The noise about the healthcare in this country would be a whole lot different than what we've been hearing. And I don't think the Republicans would be yelling as loudly as they have been. I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong because this debate has not been discussed in this light. I just have a sneaking suspicion, though. Especially, let's just take Haiti, for example, what was going on over there. And for any people who have been wondering, yes, I do have relatives there. Thankfully, so far from what I've seen, they're okay. In fact, interestingly enough, somewhere online, I actually have a video of one of my relatives being taken care of. That's a whole other story. When they ended up with that crisis down there, what happened? The whole world went crazy going, oh shit, we need to help these people. Getting money together, Red Cross going down there, Doctors Without Borders going down there, Amnesty's going down there, all these people going down, missionaries, everybody's trying to help. And one of the things that they're yelling about is these people need health care. These people need to be protected. They need to be taken care of. We need to go down there and make sure that their medical needs are being met. I mean, of course, they're also talking about trying to find some way with the next how many freaking decades it's going to take to rebuild the country. But right now, they're like, these people need medical attention. as if it was some type of fundamental human right that these guys happen to have some type of medical attention. Kind of interesting to think about. We're willing to spend millions of dollars to help out this small country and make sure that, you know, the people with crushed feet, or the people facing tuberculosis, or the people who are suddenly without the AIDS medicine because the hospital's been crushed, oh, we need to make sure they're taken care of. But over here, we're having this big debate going on about whether we deserve the same treatment. And I think that would be brought to light a lot more if the debate was about whether healthcare should be a right or a privilege in this country. But it hasn't been discussed that way. And you and I know why. Just something to think about.